Before we dive in, I just want to say thank you. Through the good and the bad, your support genuinely means the world to me. Every bit of help on this journey to chase my dream, I don't take it for granted. With that being said, hello ladies and gentlemen, how's everyone doing? My name is Cyber, and I love superhero stuff. Sometimes. Now look, we're living in a rough age for our big guys here. Flop after flop, cancellation after cancellation, but let's be real, superheroes themselves aren't the problem. They're timeless. Cultural pillars that shaped comics, films, TV, games, you name it. They belong. The real issue is that superhero games are stuck. Not because the heroes are boring, but because publishers stopped taking smart risks. Take the two pillars of superhero gaming, Batman and Spider-Man, the two titans of DC and Marvel. And while some of their games are amazing in their own right, Spidey is just an adaptation of Arkham. There's no denying what Arkham did in the industry. When Asylum dropped back in 2009, it shook game design to its core. It redefined how video game combat as a whole feels, making you feel like a character and a badass in combat. It was revolutionary. But that revolution came with a curse. Spider-Man borrowed the rhythm. The upcoming Wolverine game feels like it'll follow the same suit. The cancelled Black Panther and Wonder Woman projects seem to echo the formula too. And if the rumored Daredevil game ever surfaces, I won't be surprised if it's yet another Arkham-like. See, Arkham wasn't a genre, it was a style, but we've turned it into the only template. The single-player superhero print, a proven formula, sure, but also a safe, narrow, creativity-limiting one. And when we do try to step outside that box, we get what? Avengers, Injustice Campaign, Midnight Suns, who even played that game? Thing is, I'm no game developer. I don't code, I don't have millions in funding. But I'm a gamer, a passionate one. And as someone who loves this genre, I took it personally as a challenge. So allow me, in my infinite hubris, to smartly address the issue and pitch a few superhero game ideas that don't follow the Arkham formula. And to start off, let's talk about the big lie. Turn-based games don't sell anymore. Really? Then what the hell are Expedition 33, Persona 3 Reload, and Metaphor ReFantazio? Is that how you pronounce that? Baldur's Gate 3 and Sea of Stars doing by dominating numbers? This whole turn-based is niche, narrative is just mental. The receipts are there, the genre is alive, and more importantly so, people love it. I love it. So no, I'm not crazy when I say a turn-based RPG with the X-Men is just safe money. Now, before you throw Midnight Suns at me, yes, I know it flopped. But that wasn't because turn-based is bad. It's because it was a confused, deck-building experiment that didn't know its audience. Terrible marketing and stupid long updates that thawed out. What I'm talking about is something leaner, deeper, and emotionally driven. Think Baldur's Gate 3 meets X-Men, or Expedition 3 meets X-Men. That's a whole other beast. I'll explain better. The best team in Marvel gets a story-driven, choice-heavy RPG, a tangled web of relationships, emotional decisions that impact both party synergy and gameplay. Mutants can die, rosters huge, some lean towards Xavier's dream, like Cyclops, others can stray, like Rogue, and some can turn, like Morph. Get it? They can turn... God, I'm so bad. Sprinkle in newer recruits. X-Factor, X-Force, build on real smart commentary about true prejudice without pandering the topic. Build unity, fear, and hope, key points in the X-Men comics. Gameplay, oh man, think of the legacy combos that can tell stories. Wolverine and Colossus pulling off the fastball special execute. Magic surfing Cyclops beam, the Red Surfer. Wolverine charging up his claw with Gambit's help, the cutting deck. This writes itself. And then layer in canon beef, Scott and Logan's Boy Scout versus Bad Boy tension, Gambit and Rogue's complicated touch starved with love, Xavier and Magneto's never-ending ideological war, or if you want spice, just put in Scott's love triangle with Jean, Madeline, and Emma. Make my boy choose between them, and we all know who the right choice is. I mean, it's obvious, guys. It's Emma. Classes, skill trees, specialties, tanks, supports, snookers, hybrids. This is where the genre shines. Depth, tactics, payoff, and with Marvel Rivals already proving how stylish combos and team-ups can be, as well as popularity, the groundwork is done. Just spread the style. The Marvel Talk On hype is through the roof. X-Men 97, although not totally successful, it still rekindled the love of fans from the OG. There's room, there's need, this game could, no, it would explode. But I can already hear it, people begging to differ on me. And sure, this is something important to discuss before we go further. A lot of people say superhero media is saturated.
Objection!
My counter question is it fatigue? Or is it just bad storytelling being shoved down our throats? Look, fatigue is real, it can absolutely push people away. But superhero stuff? It comes and goes in waves. Comics have already been like this. Highs and lows, ultimate rebirths. And yet, both of these giants, Marvel and DC, are still alive after 80 years. Why? Because when they're done right, people care. But damn, do they mess up a lot. I mean, Ironheart being one of the key reasons Marvel lost massive money, only for them to double down on that decision later. That's peak comedy. James Gunn going for a Supergirl and Clayface standalone movie?
I don't like where this is going.
But come on now, it's easy to point at the black sheep and laugh at how stupid some of this stuff has become. That's fair. The exhaustion of slop is real. But then, riddle me this. How did Deadpool hit $1 billion? Why is Superman doing well right now? Kinda. Marvel Rivals exploding to this day. The absolute universe from DC popping up comic charts. It becomes so easy when you realize that legacy characters, strong IPs, no pretentious messaging, room to breathe, time to cook, good strategy, and study to evolve. Respecting the source and the fans is the safest way to print money. Because at the end of the day, we're not burned out on superheroes per se. We're burned out on mediocrity to shit. And if publishers want to expand into lesser known heroes and give them the spotlight to save money, cool, do it. But you better be smart about it in who and why you choose them. You need the right voice, the right genre, and the right delivery. And that's where I come in. Walking into more niche territory now. Behold! An investigative, story-driven action game. Please hear me out. Yes, they're niche, but only if you fumble the execution. Take a look at both The Wolf Among Us and LA Noire. Cult hits that proved style, atmosphere, and storytelling can carry a game like this to greatness. And here's the kicker. This isn't a gamble unless you play it wrong. A small, focused studio reviving the Telltale spirit, but better, tighter, evolved. It's just money on the table. Let's talk precedents. Telltale's Batman didn't fail, it was unfinished and rushed. The core was there, a great dynamic between Bruce and the Bat, some genuinely hype moments, and a solid enough story to warrant a sequel. But the engine was outdated, the choices often felt toothless, and the studio imploded under chaos. So cue my giant 500 IQ move. You don't need Batman, give me a C-tier character with style. Give me the Question. A gritty, paranoid, noir-stained, dialogue-driven game with The Question and Huntress in the lead. A stylized, cel-shaded world that's surreal, minimalist, punchy, focused, contained, dripping with mood. And gameplay-wise, Nothing crazy. Keep action light, just enough to not overstay its welcome. Make the investigation deep, replayable, and let dialogue trees matter. Build their dynamic. People love this too, by the way. Just watch the show. Want spice? Throw in deep cut references. Name drops like Oliver Queen, Bruce Wayne, Dinah Lance. Not too much. Just enough to make the fans go... And then center it all around the Court of Owls. A secret cabal controlling Gotham from the shadows. Their enforcers? The Talons, undead assassins who never quit. They manipulate judges, mayors, the GCPD. This is the question's playground spine. Conspiracies, cover-ups, paranoia, some shamanisms, and for Huntress, make it personal. Her family was executed for getting too close to the court. Retcon? Maybe. But who cares? No one knows who she is. Make her the emotional core and him the cold logic. Stoic autism boyfriend meets chaotic ADHD girlfriend. Peak couple, I will not elaborate. Make it 8 hours long, add multiple endings, add replayable interactions, a stylish villain, one big twist, and finally, yes, very important, the most important piece of advice. Make them hot. Animated Universe nailed it, and you better not fumble that. And to settle this, let's talk business, baby. The team, a small crew of 10 to 15 devs, will cost $900 to $1.5 million. The voiceover soundtrack, $200,000. DC license for minor characters, like $400 to $800. Publishing, marketing, $250 to $500. Servers, QA if needed, all that stuff will be around $70,000. A total budget estimate of $2.5 to $4.5 million. Comparable to titles like this. Now for the revenue math, where things get spicy, sell it for $30 standard and $40 deluxe. OST, alt skins, all that stuff. To break even, 150,000 copies across all platforms. A good profit on 250. If it breaks out like Telltale's best, 500,000 copies will be massive return on a modest investment. Not every superhero game needs to go for a 200 million cinematic budget to be good. Give it a bite-sized, stylized noir thriller with conspiracies, light action, gaslighting, and hot characters. And I'll show you a superhero game with soul. And if that's still not enough, fuck it! Slap a Rorschach skin on him and call it a day. I don't know. But it doesn't really matter. Here's the real tragedy behind all this. Even if a cool superhero game idea like the one I just pitched gets greenlit, odds are it'll be butchered or tamed by the corporate overlords. None other than Disney and Warner. Two of the biggest studios in the world, who somehow hate making money. Let's take a stroll through their greatest hits of financial insanity, shall we? Suicide Squad, Kill Rocksteady Studios. Avengers Wish.com edition, an entire catalog of mobile cash grabs and half-baked service games no one asked for. And this? What the fuck is this, Warner? And let's not even start on the rotten corpse of live service culture. Seasonal cosmetics, microtransactions, battle passes, and they still swear it's the only way to make money. Meanwhile, these geniuses greenlit, stuff like this. $40 million for Echo, $225 million for She-Hulk, $30 million for Agatha All Along, $370 million for The Marvels, $212 million for Secret Invasion, $150 million for Ms. Marvel. That is over $1 billion burned on projects no one was hyped for, no one asked for, and no one even cared to watch. They'll gamble fortunes on slop, but bold, creative, character-driven games? Nah, that's too risky. No one wants to see that, am I right, fellow kids? And look, if you think my ideas are dumb, that's fair. That's your opinion, and I respect it. But at least I am trying to break from the tired Arkham mold and mobile slop. I'm trying to resurrect the golden age of heroes, not with movies but with actual good-ass games, which is a nice strategy. Because unlike those billion-dollar dumpster fires, I'm not asking for a Marvel cinematic fortune. I'm asking for $4 million to tell a tight, focused, emotionally rich story about two broken people trying to fix a city before it breaks them. I'm pitching characters who are visually distinct, emotionally grounded, and tonally flexible in one of the scenarios. Either with more investment, but also with a bigger fan base and a cultural impact. I am being budget conscious, which is more than I can say for Disney or Warner. I'm going story first, not brand first. I'm casting characters into gold, not forcing a genre around a logo. No live service, no gacha mechanics, no seasonal shit, just real narrative-driven games. But if you want me to be bold, to get these money-hungry suits to listen, fine, I'll be bold then. Do you guys want to hear a hot take? A Superman game ain't that hard to make. The real challenge is people's perception of the character. So let's bring the cursed art of power scaling to chat, because yeah, it will be needed. Let's talk Dante. Dude is busted. We're talking light years beyond light speed, immeasurable strength, godlike durability, and the king of charisma. He beat Pluto, a demon lord who literally bypasses dimensional axis and streams of time. Dante has irrelevant speed. He's the living embodiment of a moment. He warped reality, mind, time, the whole damn fabric of existence. And it's all canon, by the way. But in gameplay? What do? This. And it's awesome. So why is Superman too strong for a game again? If we can scale down Dante for gameplay and no one complains, why the hell can't we do the same for the Man of Steel? Now you might say, well sure, but Dante has weapons, style, loadouts. Superman doesn't have that kind of variety, and to that I say, wrong. Reign of the Superman, he uses guns when his powers are low. He's worn countless suits and armors, wielded hammers, swords, and in Batman/Superman Sorcerer Kings, he literally uses a magic blade that fires energy blasts. He also shoots mini Supermans at one point, but yeah, let's not talk about that. The point is, from powers to weapons, there is so much to work with. Tornado punches, using the ground as a weapon, super fast learning anything, screaming so loud it breaks stuff, and yet everyone keeps forcing him into this bland-ass, sprawling open-world simulation. Like he's supposed to carry out chores across Metropolis, save cats and stop mugglers for gameplay. I know people want to feel as Superman, but why not treat it like a hack and slash, but with soul? Give it a linear structure, scripted rescue sequences, high impact, action tied to emotional beats, a combat system that scales his strength with context, a character who cares, comical scenes like DMC but more fitting to him. Want a story with heart? Adapt moments from All-Star Superman. Like the scene where Lois visits the Fortress of Solitude, the quiet moments when he saves a girl from ending it all. Or go full gut punch with a mid-game Death of Superman arc, followed by his return, weak, exhausted but still standing tall, still saving people and fighting people with tons of debuff that alters gameplay. If you wanna sprinkle a little hype, end the game with a cinematic cutscene based on Batman, where Clark and Bruce talk to their wives about each other, both claiming the other is a better man. No fan would walk away from that without a big smile and wondering where this could go and the possibility of a new game with the Batman. Want to give my man some aura without leaning too much on something like DMC? Adapt him lobotomizing Manchester Black. Dude straight up tried to reason with him, but got so mad he literally said, "Aight, I'm done playing," fried in a microsecond the part of his brain that gives him powers. Fucking scary, by the way. Want proof of his absolute aura? Just read Superman Unchained. The guy is drawn like a force of nature. scary and powerful at times. And yeah, New 52 Superman had a lot of problems, I mean, a lot of problems. I get it, some fans felt like he wasn't truly Superman. But just like Arkham Origins Batman or Dante in DMC3, there is something compelling about seeing a younger, more immature, and at times more impulsive hero evolve, to mess up, to push boundaries, and eventually grow into the icon we know. That kind of character development would be perfect for a game in my opinion. You could start with this raw, brash version of Clark, and as the story progresses, let him grow into a more classic Superman, friendlier, wiser, more hopeful, with a stronger moral compass and a better love partner, let's be honest. Superman doesn't always need to be relatable. I know Neil Gaiman said Superman is not meant to be relatable, just inspiring, but I think he's been around for over 80 years, and a little evolution, especially in a game, wouldn't hurt. Again, Absolute is doing something completely different for him, yet it's kind of interesting. It has its moments, but I don't want to dive into that, it's not important. Going back on track, Superman isn't the problem, he's never been the problem. The problem is people misunderstanding the assignments. Superman is kind, he's powerful, he's serious when he has to be, but always emotionally available. He is hope, after all. Just give me a game that understands that. Give me a game where saving people feels just as good as punching things. Stakes are high and progression is tight with a scale that fits him, both narratively and in gameplay. A game where Superman feels like Superman. And yeah, if you couldn't tell by now, Superman's my favorite hero. Always been, always will be. And I just want him to shine like he deserves. But let's be real for a second. We all know what would happen with my Superman fan game, right? A cancellation post on X with a great JPEG and a "We thank our team for their hard work" caption. Because that's the fate of everything these days. Unfortunately, superhero IPs are expensive, high-maintenance beasts. Even minor changes in the story or mechanics can cause months of delay, team reshuffles and budget spirals. When you design something with the scope of Arkham Knight, with side content, traversals, combat trees, set pieces, one wrong move and you're burning millions just trying to course correct. It is brutal, it's messy, it's risky. So yeah, I get why these games die. It's not just incompetence. It's the harsh truth of modern AAA development. However, that doesn't mean I'm not pissed off. Because when you see how these studios treat their own characters, it's like watching royalty get tossed in the garbage. They don't hire fans, they hire brands. They don't build with love, they build with quotas and agendas. We get hollow rebrands, identity swaps, TikTok tier rioting, and these hollow cringe-ass next generation replacements that nobody asked for. This is why manga is eating Western comics alive. Why even the movies, the billion-dollar titans, are sinking in reception. Because they're not building characters anymore, they're treating icons like disposable marketing tools, using them as vessels to sell a message, a product, a clickbait. Nothing feels real anymore. They think they can turn a D-list side characters into the next Iron Man with a half-baked script with $200 million in CGI sludge. That's not a gamble, that's a slow-motion car crash. But what if we stopped playing dumb? What if we were bold again, but smart about it? You want a $200 million superhero project that actually makes sense? Alright then. Let me give it to you again, for free. Now hear me out. Doctor Strange is one of the GOATs. The master of mystic arts, the sorcerer supreme. A character with lore so deep, power so vast, and style so distinct that I'm actually shocked no one has made a game with him yet. So I'm pitching you the most insane thing I've said so far. A Doctor Strange game with Skyrim aesthetics, Path of Exile mechanics, and multiversal storytelling. But good, let me break it down for you. Forget your typical strength, dex, int builds, design D&D. This game's progression would be a labyrinth of magical disciplines, as you're unlocking entire realms of abilities. telepathy, astral projection, elemental, time manipulation, monk martial arts, eldritch chaos trees, and, something like energy manipulation, I don't know. We're talking about dozens of builds, mixing soft magic with hard-hitting spell combos. You could use single-use incantations or full spam builds. You would have a multiversal map. You don't just roam New York, you portal across the astral plane, the dark dimension, the realm of nightmares, the library of Agamotto, even places like Decapolis. That's a real thing, look it up, I swear. Each one would be handcrafted, surreal and mechanically distinct. Time runs differently. Gravity flips, rules change depending on where you are. It's madness by design, but smart design. You want style? Strange God style. Melee combat through enchanted martial arts, mid-range using relics like the Cloak of Levitation, Wand of Watum, Eye of Agamotto, or even Yggdrasil's Staff. Long-range chaotic spellcasting, summoning eldritch horrors or binding demons with cosmic energy. The game wouldn't just be about power, it would be expressive. This is where the Path of Exile levels of customization plays a huge role. The possibilities are endless. Playstyles can lead to experimentation and insane replayability. And as far as stories goes, do you want proof of There's so many S's in this Do you want proof of strange storytelling potential? Go read Doctor Strange. What is it that disturbs you, Stephen? It starts with Strange reading a fortune cookie, ends in a multiversal battle across surreal dimensions, cosmic serpents, haunted temples, and angelic alliances. Strange visits Decapolis. See, I said it was real. Gets mind attacked by Elektra. Galtus the Angel shows up and he saves Wong through mental willpower. And that is just like a normal Tuesday. This character is a content goldmine. Horror, comedy, psychedelic mind trips, romance with Clea, who is their mama's niece, by the way. He has it all. Think of the best fast travel system ever. Portals. Endless boss potential. Dormammu, Mephisto, Nightmare, Shumagora, or even hell like Doctor Doom is fair game. Narrative arcs with real growth. Strange is an egotistical genius. His story can branch based on whether he finds humility or doubles down into chaos like an asshole. He's charismatic, powerful, layered, and flexible. Want emotional depth? Dude has a mixed bag of intense moments. Want cosmic hype? Pull in the Illuminati. Need a collab? Strange can fit anywhere. Ghost Rider, Magic, Fantastic Four. You want cameos? Strange's entire existence is a cameo machine. As I said, the Illuminati proves it. Now again, are my solutions and ideas flawless? Not at all. I can see arguments of bad investments, not that appealing ideas, crazy over-the-top concepts, and some to be extremely idealistic. But come on guys, I even drew the fucking things. Give me a like, please. However, I believe that hero games could be the most versatile and interesting concepts. Comics are the only place where you could ever have a team or a girl that phases through things, and next to her goddamn cosmic entity, and both of them having insane feats and relevancy, with absurd levels of capability. The potential of games through comics licensing is endless, but what kills them are the same that kills modern games. Iron Man was a nobody in the 2000s. People only knew him through Devil in a Bottle and some cartoons. Nowhere near level of success that he has nowadays. But for that foundation to flourish, a small beginning had to happen. One that was based on $130 million of budget and a gross revenue of $580 million. But look at what they did with that unknown character. Unknown is harsh, I know. All you need is faith and competent people. Damn, it really is impossible, huh? Sometimes you need to kill an idea for another to flourish. Cut the edges and direct yourself to a bigger goal. Think small and slowly build it to grow over time. That was what made MCU what it was. Time, preparation, patience. Stumbles, victories, pebbles, and huge projects that eventually culminated into something bigger. And now, so bad. But to do so, you need to start over, reset, and try again. Not give up. Like the heroes you wish to use as a canvas for great storytelling and money making. I don't know how to end this video, but please, as I said, give me a like and share the video if you can. This took me so much time, you have no idea.